Well, howdy gang, Jeff from G's Gear with a funky little old harmony guitar. This is a Harmony Broadway, an H954, made somewhere between 1947 and possibly as late as about 1959. This model of guitar was in the Harmony lineup from 47 till 71. But in the mid to late 1950s, they changed the color of the guitar from a two-tone black sunburst to a three-tone reddish sunburst guitar. So the later ones had a really dark band and then a reddish band and then the lightish band. So this was one from we'll say it's from the 50s and from maybe as late as 1959. So it's a 64, 65-year-old guitar. It's in remarkably good shape. It has had a lot of work to it. It's had a lot of living in its time here on the planet. But it's all set up and ready to go. So let's see the particulars of it. From a distance, it may look like it's a spruce top. It ain't. It's birch. The guitar is solid birch, and Harmony did not use laminate at all in their acoustic guitars. It's solid birch, top, back, sides, with a kind of a faux striping to make it look a little bit more like a striped maple. The neck is maple, and it has been what they used to say ebonized. It's had a very dark stain applied to the maple to create the fretboard. It's not a rosewood fretboard like you find on a lot of other Harmony guitars. It does have a brand new bridge, and we'll get into a little more detail on that in a minute. The tuners are original. Binding is original. The binding is tight. We did have to re-glue the binding in a couple of places where it popped loose. And yeah, everything else about the guitar is original. Tailpiece is original. Pickguard is original. No cracks, no splits, no open seams. Lots of dings, lots of dents and divots. They generally vanish, from a short viewing distance, so it looks pretty good. But when you get to the website and you look at the photographs, do take time to zoom in on them and look at all the flaws on the guitar. It's not perfect by any stretch, but we gave it a good going over. When it came in, it had well, it did actually. It did have a bridge, but the bridge was snapped in half. The guitar needed a neck reset, and as often happens when an instrument needs a reset, people start by lowering the saddle and lowering the saddle. And in this case, they took the bridge and they started to sand away at it to make it smaller and smaller, and eventually it snapped under the tension of the strings. So we have pulled the neck from the guitar. We've reshaped the profile of the heel. We've created a new saddle shaped to the top. This is a Benedetto saddle. It's made entirely out of rosewood. It's conformed to the top very nicely. And we've got the neck reset. And we have an action that currently is sitting at 3/32 of an inch, both sides at the 12th fret. Now, there's one other issue with the guitar. The fretboard extension on the guitar actually slopes ever so slightly upward. As a result, we have that 3/32 of an inch action at the 12th fret, but at the 16th fret, it's about a 1/16 of an inch. It's actually because the fretboard's coming up underneath the strings. What that means is that as you go up to the higher strings, it will fret out. And I think we can play it up to about the 14th fret, and then after that, it starts to fret out. Let's see how it's doing today. Right there, I'm at the 15th fret, it's fretting out. Starting to fret out. More so there. Here, we could do with a little dressing of that 14th fret. I'm doing better on the lower strings. There's some fretting out there. Again, around the 14th fret. But without a cutaway, you're not really going to be playing up there very often. If you want to get rid of that, it's a standard arch top kind of a bridge. You can raise the bridge a little bit, but that will make the action a little bit stiffer. So I kind of like it where it is, and I confine my playing to 12, 13, 14 frets, and I'm good to go. So yeah, Harmony Broadway. The headstock logo is still in great shape. Everything else about the guitar is really pretty darn nice. The top has a little bit of a sag in it in a couple of places, and this is consistent with press top guitars. I always refer to these as arch tops because the top is arched, but they're not arch tops in the sense of having been carved. No, these are press tops. They're steamed into this shape, and then they're braced to help retain that shape. What commonly happens to them is that over time, they will sag in two places. On the outside of the F-holes, they'll start to dip a little bit, and this one's doing that. And on the top, this one has a very slight sag in it underneath the bridge at, that's sort of underneath the A string. But there is a bass bar in the guitar. Let me see if there's more than... Yeah, the guitar's got two bars that run from the tail block all the way up to the neck block to help retain the shape of the top, and they're doing a great job. So that's that. Let's play this thing a little bit, and then we'll see what else comes to mind here. It's got a very woody sound, snappy, barky, consistent with an arch top, press top sort of a guitar. Certainly consistent with a birch body guitar. They don't have the depth, we'll say, of tone that you get out of spruce and maple as a combination. It's very bright. I think the guitar has a kind of a condensed sort of sound. It's all in one frequency range, and that would make it really an ideal guitar for playing a lot of chording as a rhythm instrument behind, maybe behind a violin or behind an electric guitar or behind a mandolin. There are lots of places where this would carve out a spot, a niche in a mix that would sound really good. So I should also say, as part of doing the neck reset, Harmony guitars are a little bit notorious for having soft neck pockets, and they can get a little spongy. So we did put a strap lug in after the neck profile was reshaped, everything was shimmed, everything was glued, everything set up, and then for added measure we ran a screw through a strap lug and into the neck block to just really tighten this up. So it's not going to go anywhere. But yeah, I think this is ultimately going to be a guitar for playing a lot of rhythm on, more so than lead lines. Now there's a way to change that though, and that's the beauty of these old guitars. This is a perfect candidate for something like a DeArmond Rhythm Chief pickup. They clip on to the strings between the tailpiece and the bridge, and then you have kind of the monkey on the stick that comes up here, and you can move the pickup back and forth. They also make them where they screw into the fingerboard extension and then sit at a prescribed distance from that. And there's some variability to it. But there's a lot of room under here, the way we have it set up, to put a Rhythm Chief pickup. And then this becomes an electric guitar. And a lot of the characteristics that it has as a birch body guitar kind of go away. You are now playing an electric guitar with an electric guitar pickup, and you have a lot more range of sound for playing jazz, for playing lead lines, what have you. But I'm leaving that up to you. Similarly, and we put this in the write-up, if you want to be able to play up further than, say, the 14th fret, what are you going to do? 3 options. One is to raise the bridge, and then the buzzing will go away and the fretting out will go away. But I don't think that that's going to be the most comfortable thing for you to do here. The second option is to continue filing down probably the last 3 frets. The 17th, 18th, and 19th fret are the most egregious here. They could get filed down, or they could get removed entirely, because you're really not going to be playing up here comfortably very often, if at all. You could remove those, and then you don't have that obstruction that causes things to fret out. Again, that's for the next owner. So that's it. It's a G's Gear at reverb.com. Check us out, bookmark us, check us out often. We're adding new instruments just about every week. We've got a couple very cool old guitars in the shop right now that will, one of them is going to take at least a month. I'm going to probably have to put a truss rod in the thing. And, we're always looking for cool stuff. We've got a lot there right now. We've got some great old jazz boxes, some great flat top guitars. I just shot a video earlier today for 11 Model 113 classical guitar that's really gorgeous. This one is real pretty. This is a guitar you're going to take as a travel companion. It's not a super expensive guitar. It's not something really precious, but it'll travel with you. It'll stand up on a stand in the office or in the living room for noodling around. It'll be a great guitar for taking out to old-time jams. Put a pickup on it and you're open mic ready anywhere you go. All right, gang. We'll play something to take us out, and we'll see you on the flip side. Take it easy.